listen, I am so happy and excited that they have stopped the shutdown of the EBT and SNAP. So people who are receiving EBT and SNAP, they are going to get their benefits. That is great. Now, I'm not sure when it's coming in. I don't know when, they're going to be doing all of this, issuing out these things. But I'm just so glad that people now can breathe a little sigh of relief. And at least they know that something is supposed to be coming to them, okay? That's really, really good. Now, listen. With that being said, that is good. Good news. I'm happy for everybody who is going to be getting their benefits, and they don't have to worry and panic. They can feed themselves. They can feed their children. They can feed, and the senior citizens, they can feed themselves. I do have to make a side note, though, and say this. It baffles me how some people were sitting over here gloating and happy of the fact that some people were going to be without, that some people are going to or were going to be lacking in this holiday season. Let's be for real. November, this is holiday season. But those people clearly don't have a heart. The Grinch was a bad dude, but he did have a heart. Even though it was small, you needed a microscope to see it, but it was there. It was there. But these people who can sit over here and laugh at this, mock it, and think that it's funny, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. You don't have a heart. And the thing of it is, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they felt like this because they're thinking, oh, this is like somebody who is in their peer category, their age group that is going through this. I don't think they were thinking about the fact that there are senior citizens that are going through this. This impacts them, right? I don't think they were thinking like that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they weren't thinking about the senior citizens who are trying to stretch things out and make ends meet. I'm going to also say that they weren't thinking about the fact that there's children that is going to be impacted or was going to be impacted by this. See, here's the thing. You may want to sit here and say that, oh, well, you should just go out and get a job. And I'm going to put a pin on that. I'm going to come back to that job part. Okay, but let me say this right here, right quick. So the senior citizens, guess what? They've already worked. They've done their part. But some of them, unfortunately, have to go back and continue working so that they can make ends meet. And those benefits just help them along a little further, right? Children are not old enough to work. They're here and they're dependent upon what their parents can do for them. And their parents are trying. So you can go ahead and miss me with that whole, well, just go to work and get a job. Senior citizens have done everything and then some. Children are not eligible to work. So then what? Anyway, now back to that point that I was making. You want to say go out and get a job. Okay, great. Guess what? Fun fact and news flash. Getting a job ain't easy. Getting a job ain't like it used to be. It's not. The job market stinks, okay? Finding work is work, but it's work that doesn't pay because you can spend endless hours putting in applications, even taking up your time to fix up and go to a job interview to get what? Nothing at all. And at the end of the day, at the end of those hours that you put in trying to find work, you still don't got no pay. So miss me with that. Finding a job ain't as easy as just saying, get a job, find a job. It's not that easy. Miss me with that. Anyway, I don't know when they're going to issue out the SNAP and EBT benefits and such, but they're supposed to be on the way. So I am happy about that. Now, let me say this. We all, collectively as a people, need to look at this and take note of this, okay? And not let ourselves get caught in this situation again. And what I mean is this. I'm not going to sit over here and tell you to get a job. Absolutely not. But what I am going to say is this. Get yourself some seeds. Make you a garden. If you don't have land, no problem. Get yourself some cups, some little styrofoam cups, or they also have those little starter kits. It's like a cardboard type compost like material or whatever, and you put your little soil in there, put some seeds in there, and you can start a garden right there. You can do a bucket garden. There's a plethora of ways that you can have something coming up in the ground on your own, or in some dirt, I should say, on your own, where you can have something to try and sustain yourself. All right? I know it's not easy, but if you can take or sacrifice at least $5, 10 really if you could, to get you something that you can like hold back to sustain you, just to like for an emergency situation, right? So that if this situation should happen again, you won't be caught off guard. Because let me tell you something. As long as somebody feels like they have the ball in their court, then they're going to play the game however way they want to play it. Okay? And that's what a lot of people depend on. Oh, they're just going to have to wait till I feel like doing something for them, because that's just what I can do. I can give it to them. I can don't give it to them, but it's up to me. They don't have a choice. That's a sad place to be, where you don't have a choice. So try and get you some seeds. Seeds cost you can get 4 for $1, probably maybe 4 for $1.25. You can find a pretty good, reasonable price on seeds and stuff. All right. Start you a little garden in some little cups, pots, flower pots, buckets. And if you have land, please dig up that dirt, okay? Dig up that dirt and put something in the ground so you can have something. Be like, okay, y'all want to shut it down? Or y'all want to cut off EBT and SNAP? Cool. I'm just going to go to the back, get my greens, beans, lambs, potatoes, okay? I'm just saying, but for real, we got to go back to being self-reliant. Convenience ain't so convenient when it ain't convenient no more. You understand what I'm saying? We have gotten so into this act of, I'm just going to run to the store and get what I need. No, people back in the day didn't run to the store and get what they need. They got some things, but they weren't relying upon everything coming from the store. No, they had their garden in the back. They had their chickens on the side. They had their hogs, dogs, rams, lambs, potatoes, you name it. I mean, they had that, okay? And we need to go back to that for real. We got to take that ball out of their court and put it in our court. For real. Let this be a wake-up call, please. And another thing, if we stand together, we won't fall. Y'all think about that. And I will talk with you all later, okay? Bye.